Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing an updated add-on guide for the War Within. Basically, we're pretty much close to the next expansion, and I usually do an updated add-on video when the next expansion comes out. There's not really too many different changes from the last time I made an updated video on this, other than like a few add-ons that I got. But yeah, this is just an updated video for the add-on since this is the most popular thing I always get asked. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. First thing that we're going to be going over is the advanced interface option add-on, is right here. And basically what this does is it helps make my damage numbers bigger. If you're using a different add-on for numbers, there's a lot of them out there, then I don't think this will be as good. But I use this add-on to make my numbers bigger, and it's one of these ones. I've had it for so long that I forgot like what it's called. But there's like some text down here where you can change the number to make it bigger. I fortunately don't remember what the name of it is, but there's like some text out here to make your numbers bigger, and once you find it, you just click the number here on the right hand of the screen where it says like 0, -1, 19, 20, 204, etc. You just click that and change the number and to make it bigger. And to show you guys the example of what I mean, you can see my numbers are a little bit bigger than what a normal person would see, so I like to make it bigger because my eyesight is obviously not the greatest. You can make it even bigger if you want. I've even tried that in the past, but I like to just make it this bigger so it doesn't cover like the whole freaking screen. But yeah, that's pretty much what this add-on is for, and it's probably one of my favorite add-ons out there. It helps make the numbers just a lot easier to see. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have this add-on for. Up next is an add-on called BadBoy. This is an add-on that pretty much blocks all your whispers. You can obviously allow it to for friends, guild, and loud group, but it won't block BattleNet stuff anyways. So I like to keep my whispers disabled because, you know, everybody knows PvP is generally pretty toxic. If somebody wants to like call out things, they can just say it in like Battleground chat anyways. So I like to have my whispers disabled, and that's just pretty much what this add-on does. Self-explanatory. I usually almost always have it on if I do like Soul Shuffle, for example, because it's incredibly toxic there, and stuff like that. So self-explanatory, just disables whispers, and that's it. Up next is Battleground Enemies, probably one of my favorite add-ons in the game. And what this does is it brings up this thing on the right hand side of the screen here, and I have the ally side disabled because it's kind of pointless to have the allies one enabled. You can have it on if you want, but I only have Battleground Enemies enabled on for the enemy faction. And basically what it does is it's an easier time of clicking it and targeting the enemy. It tells you like who's a healer, who's a tank, etc. I use it to also see how geared the other team is. It won't tell you how geared they are, but you can always judge based off of health if you like know the game well enough by then. So that's pretty much what it does, is it shows the enemy's faction, their names, their class, their spec, etc. So it's very useful, probably one of the best Battleground add-ons in the game, and it's something I've gotten so used to, it's really hard to play without. It's one of the best add-ons in the game, and I highly recommend it. And that's pretty much what Battleground Enemies does. So I like to disable it in Epic Battlegrounds, by the way. You can do it if you want to, but it's 40 players is definitely a lot, so I wouldn't recommend it, by the way. Up next is Captain. I believe I can bring this up. One moment. Okay, for some reason it's not coming up, so I'm just gonna do this. I'll just queue for Blitz, for example, and you can see that it shows the timer right there. When I queue for Battle Blitz, this is 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Basically, what this does is when you're inside the battleground, And for example, you capture an AV tower, it'll show how long it has left until it caps. And that's basically what it does. And then for stuff like, example, Wintergrass, it tells you how much health a wall has left. It tells you how much health an NPC has left, even if you're not near it for the most part. And that's pretty much what capping does. It's extremely useful to know how much longer till something caps, and you know, stuff like that. It's definitely a very powerful battleground add-on, and I highly recommend you end up downloading it. Up next is details. This is just your standard damage telling add-on, so it just, you can tell how hard your abilities hit, etc. And a lot of people have this on PvEers included. That's pretty much all there is to it. So it's just to tell you how much damage you're doing, what's your highest hitting ability, and that's just how details work. So if you want to know how much damage you're doing and your hardest hitting ability, then details is for you. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Alright, up next is MongoMon. This is I had this a while back, a long time ago. Some of you might remember it, but it wasn't working, and it's finally working, at least for now. It might not work in the future, but as of right now, it works. And let me see if I can bring it up. I don't know. If not, I'll edit it in while editing. But yeah, it's not looking like it's bringing it up. Yeah, it's a thing called MongoMon. I would try to bring up the box, but it's not bringing it up. So, what this does is it basically counts. It's kind of like a mini scoreboard in a box, and it tells you your kills, your damage, and your deaths, etc. And I really like doing that, just because I like to see everything going on in the background. You can also see the KB and death ratio of somebody in a battleground as well, on the other team. You can also see who's the strongest damage in the battleground, because they'll have an icon above their nameplate. I mean, it's just something really small. It's not absolutely needed. It's just something really cool for fun, just depending on if you like that kind of thing. It's one of my favorite add-ons, but like I said, it's not absolutely necessary because some people just maybe not want to see their scoreboard or something. I don't know. So it's up to you, but it's one of my favorite add-ons. And if you want to see a scoreboard, it's not like a huge scoreboard, by the way. It's like a little mini box. Like I said, I'll edit it in editing, but that's just basically what it does. Alright, up next is mute channel file. I already made a video on this, and I'll add it to the description. But what this does is, it's mostly for you can probably do it for like other things too, but it's mostly for like combat yells. If you play a warrior, for example, like I do, and you hate the yelling they do with every single ability, I think Beastmaster Hunter has that issue as well. You can find the number ID and put this in and completely mute it, and you don't have to hear it anymore. And it is so useful, because having to hear that constant warrior yelling gets old real fast. You'll have to do it for every time you switch races, but yeah, it's extremely useful, and that's pretty much the only thing I have this add-on for. Alright, up next is nameplate cooldowns. I think I might have to... Alright, here it is. And basically what this does is it tells you how much longer somebody has their cooldown up. For example, a paladin, if they have belt bubble and cooldown, it'll let you know, and it'll tell you how much longer until they have it up. And that's pretty much what this add-on does. It's not just for paladin bubble, it's for pretty much everything. You can also disable something if you want to. Like, for example, if you don't want to see Avenging Wrath anymore, you can get rid of that, but you'll never know when they'll have Avenging Wrath back up. You know what I mean? You can turn off Bark Skin, Blinding Shot. You'll never know when they'll have it back up, though. That's just an example, but I doubt anybody's going to do that, but that's just to give you a general idea. So, That's what nameplate cooldowns does. Extremely useful to know when somebody will have their cooldowns back up and you'll have time to prepare. And yeah, that's just what it does. Up next is an add-on called Pratt, and this one's also another useful one. It's not really for PvP, but if you talk a lot of different stuff with your friends, like for example, you want to, if they link you something cool, you can click this right here, and you can see, for example, um, this is just the chat logs from recent stuff in chat, and if you want to copy what they said from chat, you highlight it, Control C, and then you just type it in on a website and it'll bring it up. And that's pretty much it. Or you could just whisper it, something else to a friend. Like for example, say this guy trash talked you in game, and you want to link it to your friend because they might find it funny or whatever, or you were talking about it. So you just bring it up in the top left of the chat screen. Like for example, it says over 0027, and then this will pop up. Copy and paste, like I said, and link what the person trash talked to your friend, and that's pretty much what Pratt does. And yeah, that's it. All right, up next is an add-on called Tell Me When. What this does is I don't use any for my hunter, but on my boomkin, for example, and I forgot what other class, I have it to where it sets to show me DRs. There's probably a bunch of other easier add-ons for this, and but you can just use a bunch of different things, and you can do it can tell you basically when the diminishing returns are about to happen. Like for example, if you stun somebody, it'll have a timer saying how long this is until it's no longer on DR. Unfortunately, there's tons of stuns going on all the time, so you will never really exactly kind of know at the time until you get like an add-on like this that'll tell you when the diminishing returns are off, and then you can stun, etc. And that's just basically to help you know when you can CC fully again. That's what I use it for. So you can use it for a bunch of different stuff as well, but that's what I use it for. So it's a very useful add-on if you're something like that needs to like CC all the time. It's very useful. Up next is an add-on called Threat Plates. I used to have Tiny Plates, and I'm sure it's fixed by now, but because of the pre-patch, it was broken for a while. I decided to go to a different nameplate. It's basically the same thing as Tiny Plates. It just gives you this health bar above enemies. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Nothing more to that. Just extra nameplates above enemies. All there is to it. Up next is an add-on called TrueFi GCD, and honestly, the only reason to get this add-on is if you're like a streamer or a YouTuber. Otherwise, it's basically useless. But it just basically tells you what abilities you're using. You can see on the bottom left of the screen that all these abilities I'm using are going off. So that's basically what this add-on does. It's just more I feel like mostly for streamers or YouTubers. Up next is WeakAuras, and I don't think I have too many I am using at the moment. Give me 1 minute to get out of combat. Right. I have some of these old ones from Shadowlands that basically are no longer useful. Yeah, I'm basically not even using any WeakAuras anymore. Oh wait, I actually take it back. I'm using a stat one. That's the only one I'm using. The rest of these are Shadowlands old. So, WeakAuras have everything, so if you want to use WeakAuras for your class, just go on. There's like a website specifically for WeakAuras that you can go to and just pick pretty much almost anything. I'm not using it personally, so but yeah, if you want to download WeakAuras for that type of thing, there you go, and that's pretty much all there is to it. The final add-on is called, you never pronounce this right. It's like WeizPvP. I'm just gonna pronounce it that way. That's the way I always pronounce it. I know I can never pronounce this right. You want the name? It's right here. And it's basically for a world PvP. And if you're a fan of world PvP, this will let you know when there's players nearby. For example, it's right down here above my, well, not above, but below my damage add-on. You can see it's right here. There's a guy named Plague, but he's no longer nearby, so I guess I'll reset it. There's nobody nearby. Of course, I can't test it now, but basically what this does is it'll let you know there's a player nearby without, like, you know, if you don't even have a tracker or something, you can just target them instantly. It's very useful. It's basically like the battleground enemies of World PvP, kind of. And the best part is, if there's a stealther nearby, it'll even let you know that too. I would recommend disabling the sound because it does get kind of annoying after the first few tries. You can have it with sound on or sound off. And that's basically all there's to it. You can see my add-on is popping up with names, and I can just target these guys instantly. I don't know where they are, but I can still target them. That's kind of what this add-on does. It's basically, like I said, battleground enemies add-on for World PvP. And that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This was the updated version for the War Within. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!